Hello, I'm your host, Hayden, a licensed mental health therapist, 20 something, Cancer Moon, first to get deep at any party, and this is the Evergreen RX. Welcome back to another mini dose. If you're new to the mini doses, this is where I answer questions, talk about trends, and basically do anything that I don't think belongs in a main dose. So today I am answering a question, and it is about learning to be okay with being alone. This person asks, how do you become okay with being alone? Just doing your own thing, not trying to date at all, rediscovering who you are. I honestly just feel so lost and I don't know where to begin. I feel like being alone is such a big part of being in your 20s and learning that independence and learning who you are, what you like, and what you want to do with your time. So, I have heard iterations of this question and this kind of exploration so many times. Just for context, I'm currently in a long-term relationship and I live with my partner, but I still have been navigating what life looks like for me. I spend a lot of time doing my own thing and engaging in activities just solo. And I've always kind of been like that. I'm actually somebody that enjoys being alone, and I have never had a problem occupying my time. But I think that there's also something to really being intentional with your alone time, not just being able to occupy it or to be comfortable with it, but like this person is asking in their question, learning kind of just how to discover who you are, which I think is honestly a lifelong process. So I've got a couple of thoughts on this. First and foremost, and I saw this on some articles online as well, and it's kind of just like boring, get it out of the way. Taking a break, stepping back from social media, stepping back from online information. We're inundated with so much. Like, this is the hill I'm gonna die on. This is my Roman Empire. We are so inundated with information, photos, the way other people are living their lives, that sometimes we don't even know how to look at our own paper, like keep our eyes on our own paper. We are constantly being shown alternative ways to live, alternative lives to lead, when ultimately we only get one. And we can't do everything or be everybody. So, taking a step back from social media so that you can really start to tune in with your own internal guidance. Like, how do you know what you like versus what you don't like when you don't have a trend telling you what is cool? When's the last time you went shopping and really just like tried to see which clothes stuck out to you without determining whether or not they were part of the trend? It almost feels impossible to do that because we have so much unconscious information that's being fed to us all of the time. But really giving yourself some opportunities to figure it out, what it is you do or don't like. Even knowing what it is that you don't like helps get you closer to what it is that you do. So if it feels like too much of a jump to ask yourself what aligns with you, you can just start ruling things out. Usually it's easier because we have more of an aversive reaction that's easier to recognize when it's something that we don't like or we don't want for our own life. So the next thing is to do activities where other people are present, but it's more normal to be solo doing them. It might be a little bit of a leap to go on a solo dinner, but how about going to a coffee shop, going to the gym or a workout class, walking on a popular nature trail, volunteering, doing things where you're going to be with a group of people that you maybe like you don't necessarily know them, and maybe it's not really even the point to interact with anybody. But just to be social around people to get some of that interaction if that's something that you're desiring, while also feeling comfortable enough flying solo. And you can kind of upgrade. If going to the gym alone seems like top tier scary, maybe coffee shop sounds a little less intimidating. You can bring a book with you, you can bring your computer, and just kind of be in people's space. You never know what's going to happen either. You can meet someone that you really click with, or just, have a lovely interaction with the barista, and that can help feel like you are an individual moving through the world and being recognized by other individuals. Sometimes I think when we get into our head about discovering who we are and learning to love being alone, it can be pictured as this really solitary activity that you like actually have to be solo doing it. But I don't really think it's that black and white. There's value to like really being solitary and having some time just with yourself. But I also think part of how we discover who we are is through our relationships with others. When people interact with us and kind of reflect parts of ourselves back to us, we can really learn a lot about ourselves. And ultimately, probably no one listening here is going to live completely independent of all relationships. So kind of growing that muscle on how to be in connection with people and maintain your own independence and autonomy. So in that same vein, balancing, solo time with time surrounded by others or maybe spent with others on this journey to spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself, I would say that spending some time in quietude is really important. Like, no podcast, no music, no book, no, distraction. Just kind of sitting with yourself and your thoughts in nature or in your house in a place where you feel really comfortable and seeing what comes up. I am going to once again get on my soapbox and say, if this is really hard for you, therapy can be really helpful for that. We have a lot of defenses that just turn on automatically. One of those defenses can be staying busy and staying constantly around people, constantly listening to something, being distracted by other input so that we don't have to sit with our thoughts and our feelings. Eek. I'm sorry. It's hard. But usually when we do sit with those thoughts and feelings that feel really loud and really scary, and maybe they are really loud and really scary at the beginning, they do start to quiet down over time, and we're able to work through all of the noise to find a deeper relationship with ourselves, which is what we're wanting, right? Like, that's the whole point of this shindig. That's the whole point of like doing things alone, is to come into deeper relationship with yourself. And a really easy way to do that is to spend time quietly with your thoughts and processing the things that come up for you. A fun part of this solo part of the adventure is also really embracing your freedom and ability to let it all loose when you're by yourself. You can dance around the house, you can sing out loud, you can make a mess, take up all of the space. For me, when my partner's at home and I have the bed to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I can stretch out, I can lay on either side. Like, I'm starfishing hardcore, uh, just because I can. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. Like, so just taking up space and embracing how you have like complete control over what you want to do and how you want to do it, because we don't get that too often. Like, most of the time, we are in situations where making accommodations for other people and coming to compromises is kind of the norm. So, when you do have that solo time, or if you're in a phase in your life right now where it is pretty solo for you, trying to see if you can have some fun with it and be free and see where that takes you. Okay, lastly, I would say to practice some self-compassion. Self-compassion is really the practice of being kind to yourself and being mindful, acknowledging maybe where you're at right now is not where you want to be at. Maybe you wish you had a partner and you weren't alone so much. Maybe you feel like you're in a codependent relationship and you're struggling with finding yourself and breaking out of that comfortable nest of being connected with someone else, and that's difficult. So really just becoming mindful of that growth point that you're at, maybe where you wish you would be, but acknowledging where you are now, and that does come with some struggle. And then, knowing that you're not alone in that. You're not the only person that clicked this podcast, wanting to know how to build this relationship with yourself. This is such a common experience in life, so really normalizing that. And then, working on that self-talk, working on being gentle with yourself as you expand, as you grow, as you try new things. Maybe you go out solo to the park and you feel super awkward and you feel like everybody thinks you're so weird. Instead of adding suffering to that and saying, yeah, you are weird and you're like, everybody's there with somebody and you're the only person that's alone and you're never gonna have friends and like, you're so lame. Saying things like, oh, that was kind of uncomfortable. Like, I felt really awkward, but wow, like I tried something. That's so amazing. Like, I did something new for myself. And even though it was weird, I did it. I survived it. And just practicing being gentle in that way while you embark on this lifelong evolving journey of nurturing your most important, longest relationship with yourself. So yeah, that's what I have for you. If you have any questions, any follow-up questions, anything, comments that you'd like to share with me, please reach out, and follow along for more as we continue shaping this prescription for living well, getting a little witchy together, exploring mental health, exploring topics through the lens of intentionality, curiosity, and integrity. I'll catch you in the next one.